Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and today on Finding Me on the ITV networks, I have an amazing guest, and this is Rajendra Singh, all the way from India. Of course, we have to thank Gavin at the University of Pretoria for giving us this opportunity, for allowing me to chat with Rajendra. Rajendra is known as the waterman of India, and he is a well-known water conservationist. Of course, water is a very big issue in South Africa, considering the drought that we are facing, and many farmers, individuals, communities and societies have been affected by the shortfall of rain and of course the water shortage. Rajendra has done amazing work in community and has shown communities and has developed ways of harvesting and managing water management. So he has been instrumental in fighting slow bureaucracy and mining lobbies. And this is very important in South Africa as well, where we see that there is much acid drainage into the water, making the water very acidic in South Africa. And he has helped villages take charge of water management in semi-arid areas. So there is more to say about him, but I will ask him about these questions. Let me just introduce you to my guest. So thank you very much, Rajendra, and thank you for being here. I think you're here at a very crucial time when South Africa is facing huge water challenges.
Yes.
Okay, so basically you are known as the Waterman of India, and you won the Stockholm Prize of 2015. You have introduced something very innovative through the use of Johad. Now, can you tell us a little bit about Johad and what made you move to this direction?
The Johad is a concave water body. When the water coming flood, and we give the water can walk, and when the water walking, we create a Johad. The Johad is a earthen water body. We make this water body with soil and with compaction, and that water collect there. But the specifically very objective specific. If we are recharging the aquifer, we are controlling the evaporation loss. So we create this Johad on fracture, opposite of the fracture. If we create the Johad opposite of the fracture, that water collect and going underground aquifer, no evaporation loss. So the specialty of the Johad in my area, the desert of Rajasthan, in semi-arid area of Aravalli hills, so that water going in the aquifers and no evaporation loss, and recharge the aquifer, water level come up, and when the water level come up, so the people use for drinking and for animals and for agriculture.
So is this system, is it workable anywhere in the world?
Yes, the Johad is working anywhere in the world. Yesterday, I am in the South Africa in the district of Wazim, and the completely drought prone area. The people is forced migration. Every third house is empty because no water there, and the crops is fail, and the cattle is open, no cattle in the house. So the scarcity of the fodder, no fodder there, no water there, and now the crisis of the grain. But I seen there, I walk lot of area of the of that region. The streams, when the rains is coming, so flood and with erosion.
Right.
So if we can catch that water on the stream, and that water collect on the surface, so that water we can use here for drinking, for agriculture, for any purpose of the pupil. But we need some really love, affection and respect of water. If the South African people give the respect to the water and give the equal right to the humanity on and the equal right to the nature. So, you can make a sustainable development in this region. Enough water you have. You know how much my population density and how much population density where I visit yesterday.
What is the comparison?
Oh, less than half. And you know how much rainfall? The 4 times more rainfall from my desert area and this South African desert area. If I can fulfill the need of the double population density in my region and the rains is less than 4 times from my region, in my region from here.
Yeah.
So, why not here?
Very
Enough water.
So, do you find that South Africa does, well, perhaps I shouldn't say South Africa per se, but maybe in those who have the power in making policies or developing plans, that they haven't been innovative enough in managing the water? Or secondly, that there is just a lack of care, or thirdly, a lack of knowledge and expertise or skills, or an unwillingness to try something new?
I think the South Africa have a indigenous knowledge about the water management. But now the modern development and modern development policies, they are not giving the respect to the water, and they are not giving the equal right of the pupil on water. Some big man can stop the water from the upper side on the own land. They are not allowing the flow in the downstream. This is not a justice.
So
this is not a justice.
This is part of a social injustice that
Yes.
is perpetuating, I think, from apartheid times.
Yes,
actually.
this is real injustice. So, you know, the river have equal right of the human. If the human need water, the human need can't fulfill without the river flow of water. So, if we are not ensuring the river right, we can't ensure the need of the humanity. So, here is need some sustainable way of water conservation, and here is now is very much necessary if we are doing climate adaptation. If we are using approach for the water conservation is really a path of the climate adaptation. You know, the adaptation is never violent, but the name of the mitigation and name of the controlling of the drought, they are the start from the violation, the violent. So, we need adaptation, we not need mitigation. Mitigation is not possible.
So, it is not the solution at the moment.
Not a solution, not a sustainable solution. The adaptation is a really solution, because the adaptation giving the equal right to the nature and humanity, and the equal right to the poor and rich, and the equal right to the human and tree. So, this is the way of the adaptation.
There are many things that you speak about here, and one I speak about is the holistic understanding of living in harmony with your nature. So do not look at nature as a commodity, but nature as a source of life, right? That's the first thing I hear in your argument. And the second, you speak about violence. So basically violence associated with water, which comes to my question then. We speak about social justice. Does all of this link with the fact that there should be water justice?
Yes. You know, we are the part of the nature. We are not really controller of the nature. Yes, we have brain, but this brain is not only for the controlling the nature and exploiting and encroaching and over extraction and over exploitation of the natural resource. This is not. If we start really about the justice of nature, justice of climate, or justice of humanity, we can integrate all of them. If we are doing the community and technology and engineering, we can make a unified, and we can move in the path of the unified way with the nature. So I can say we are giving the right to the nature, and we are giving to the right to this civil society, or you can say the right to the community. So now I feel today here we give the equal right to the nature or to the humanity, and we are ensure security of water, security of food, and security of climate change. If we are not thinking in this line, so we can't give the justice to the humanity, or we can't give the justice to the nature. So today is really need a justice for climate, for humanity, or for
the environment, basically.
the environment.
Okay, we have to go to a break, and I'm going to have many questions for you. But I think it's important that we understand the nature of water justice, considering the context of South Africa and the fact that many South African populations, the indigenous populations, and large percentage of the black populations were actually shifted out by the apartheid government and put in places where they did not have access to water, or where there was water, the government made sure that it controlled how much and how the water came to these populations. So water justice is a very important issue. And in South Africa, I think it's about time we stood up and took note of
Yes.
this. But we'll see you after the break. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullah, and welcome to the second segment of Finding Me today in the ITV networks with Rajendra Singh, and we're talking about water. Rajendra is known as the waterman of India, and he has done phenomenal work in the whole concept of raising awareness about water, and as he said in the first segment, about showing respect to the water and about using water in a very, very holistic way so that it can benefit all, nature, environment, animals, human beings, etc. But Rajendra raised also a very important issue in the first segment, and that was talking about water justice and about understanding the effect of water on women, and that is about gender justice as well, and about the effect of water on communities and to the environment. He has done phenomenal work in challenging the mining lobbies, and I want to talk about that because mining is a big thing in South Africa, and so we need to speak to Rajendra and take his wisdom, take his advice, because ultimately water activists, water conservationists, environmental activists face a huge challenge in bringing forth their ideas when you compare them to the activism that they have to do against the monopolies, the global capital, the huge corporates, etc. So Rajendra, coming back to what you have said, I'm sure you also must be facing huge opposition, because I mean anytime you go up against the corporates, the financial, the huge multinationals, etc., who take large amounts of water and abuse it, for example mining companies, etc., ultimately driven by profit motive, capitalism, to maximize profit, and don't care about what they're doing. And in poorer communities where the people don't have a voice, they need voices like yours.
Yeah.
So how do you handle that?
You know, when I start the water conservation work in 1985, so I'm doing continuously, but the mining is in a booming that time in my region. So one hand we are doing conservation, and that water going in the underground aquifer recharge and going the mining. So the mining people extract that water and are putting outside, and the old well is dry. So before I understand the mining is a development, but when I face to face seen that disaster by the mining, and the people say if this mining is continue, you do how much rain harvesting or water conservation, no impact. So first you stop this mining. So I start the thinking and file a case against in Supreme Court.
Against the mining company?
Against the mining companies.
Wow.
And these all mining companies working in the marble, dolomite, copper. So different type of the mining companies. There are 462 mines in this region. So the Supreme Court listened me and stopped the all mining.
So you were successful in the case?
Successfully.
Wow, okay.
And the mine owners is out of control, and they assess me. And the one time the Justice MC Jain come from the Supreme Court for the verification, and the officers, all state and central government officers with him, and front of them they attack me in the mining area, because I am a petitioner, so the court invite me for the verifying the mines boundary. They attack 3 times on my life, but I am still working.
Because God has all that you have a purpose.
Because the nature want some work by me.
Yeah.
So, but when the Supreme Court giving the order in the favor of me, so they again go and the mining continue, and the violent against the Supreme Court order they are working. So I start a walk in the whole area from the Gujarat, a place called Himmat Nagar. So Himmat Nagar to Delhi is a Aravalli Ridge, Aravalli Valley.
Okay.
So the all mining in this zone. So I am going and walking and motivate to the people, and people
they join the march.
And when the lot of people join the march, so mine owner is.
They had to listen.
Yes, and finally the mines is stopped in the forest area.
So ultimately, even protecting our water must come from the people, isn't it?
Yes.
The people have to take ownership of the water,
Yes.
or take ownership of the problem of the water
Yes.
as well.
Yes.
But you need to obviously motivate them and make them aware that there is something that they can do, isn't
Yes.
it?
If we can realize to the people,
Yes.
so people
Will stand up.
belongingness and ownership come up, and they fight, and they understand the better understanding they have about the common future. So they know what is our common future. If this mining going on, our pasture land, our common property all destroy, all common property under the overburden of the mining. So no pasture land, no grazing, no water. So where the life? So finally the execution of the Supreme Court order. So now I can say no mines working in the forest area.
Now, you're speaking about your activism, and recently we had a case in South Africa where one of our academics here, exactly from Gavin, Professor Lorenzo Fioramonti, withdrew from a seminar conference on water, in which it was found out that the Israeli government was using it as a political tool to try and sell its technology to South Africa. But at the same time, the whole idea of how Israel was stealing water from the Palestinians was not brought to light, and Lorenzo, by withdrawing from the conference, took the stand with the BDS and the academic boycott. And when I spoke to you earlier, you spoke also about another aspect of this whole theft of Palestinian waters in terms of the Jordan River, and it's an important question. So can you tell us a little bit about it?
The Israel, yes, as a technologically he do good effort, but all over the world doing the same efforts. We are in Rajasthan, the efficient use of water, we are doing same thing. And this is this example is everywhere now going on. But this is not good if you are control a river of the other country. The Jordan River, the equally what a right have on Jordan people. So if you take the sweet water of the Jordan and your Dead Sea increasing there, so I think we need a justice with water. We need a justice of river. If you control the river and you can say, oh, we have the enough water, we have the, through the technology. The technology never made the water. Any technology in this world never make the water. Only the water make by the sun. Sun going to the ocean and through the blue heat make a clouds, and they clouds give the water for everywhere, for everyone, for nature, for humanity. So the only sun can make a water. No industry, no machine, no technology, they are making water. You know, the desalination plant of the Israel, now the more than 40% water polluting there of the in the name of the desalination of the plant. I personally visited there. I am not saying in the sitting the far away. I visit there. So this is not a justice of the.
Yeah. So this technology is actually causing some of 40% of harm actually.
The technology creating a more problem for future. So if we give the respect to the blue heat, and that blue heat create a green heat, and that green heat fulfill the need of the nature and fulfill the human, and due to the green heat they increase the yellow heat and control the red heat. So the 4 type of the heat in our life. First is blue heat. Blue heat give the water to us. Green heat, the
condensation.
Yes, cloud coming and give the water, and that green heat create a blue heat. The crops and greenery and vegetation increase, and the atmosphere carbon dioxide sequestration by this greenery, and with that the all red heat gone. Today everywhere you see the red heat increasing.
Yes.
The red heat coming from the cement concrete building and building of the glasses and the polluting industry and polluting rivers, they are giving the red heat, or you can say the ultra heat. That is not good for our health and not for nature health. They are, that red heat is the really creating a disaster, and the blue heat controlling the disaster, giving the process of the adaptation of the climate change. So if we give the respect to the blue heat and we start a process of the adaptation. So Israel is not moving to the adaptation. The Israel moving to the name of the mitigation. So the mitigation is never sustainable. The adaptation is a sustainable.
And I suppose with adaptation, you can actually let all communities benefit, but the idea behind Israel is exploitation and only benefiting the Zionist state of Israel. And so that's why you have exactly mitigation and not adaptation, because they don't want the Palestinians or anybody else to benefit. We're almost at the end, and I want you to say something to me in terms of, do you believe that we can get out of circumstances or situations of drought? And, are the technologies that you use, are they affordable? Can communities do them? Is there a political will to use these technologies? Because, they work.
My experience of 32 years, the people is all displaced in my region, and first I start, and when the water come, people come back, and the reverse migration start, and the work is reapplicate and is scaling up. Now I can say more than 1200 communities, they are living on their own water,
And I have to stop you there, sorry. Thank you very much. That's a very positive note. So perhaps in your own tongue, in Hindi, would you like to leave us a last message?
मैं बस इतना कहना चाहूँगा कि हम यदि अफ्रीका को पानीदार बनाना चाहते हैं तो अफ्रीका की एक एक बूंद को पकड़ के मिट्टी में सहेज कर रख ले। यदि वो पानी हमने सहेज लिया तो अफ्रीका पानीदार देश है। साउथ अफ्रीका बेपानी नहीं है, पानीदार है।
Excellent. So we do have water. It's how we manage it.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Rajendra Singh, and thank you for sharing your wonderful wisdom with us. Perhaps our people and our institutions and those in authority will stand up and listen. Till we meet again. Fi amanillah. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.